Something about that beat make you want to walk it out, boy. You hear what I'm saying? It'll put some mojo in your hojo.
Uh-oh.
I see.
Not in your hojo, man.
Welcome to the Fourcast.
Look who first.
Rucker Park in the building.
Rucker Park.
Rucker. The building. Thank you for tuning in. She said, "Good evening, gentlemen." She's talking about one of us.
Yeah. She can't be talking about me, talking about gentlemen.
All right, so just a little bit of intro. We're trying out a new program. We've been using StreamYard for really the longest. We're switching over possibly to Restream, and we're going to see how this works. Also, we upgraded some equipment. Shout out to King Dawk. And we could try out a call-in line tonight. So we'll see how this works. I'll post it up on the screen.
Yeah, we need somebody to try that.
Yes.
And for y'all that don't realize it, HRap is an angel. Yeah.
But this is the Fourcast.
That's got to be an optical illusion.
You want some magic back there.
Hey. Y'all know Jesus loves me.
Yes, I know.
You see that? You see that? Well,
the Bible tells us. Anyway,
you touch that burning bush, your ass gonna need a shot from the doctor, as I'm telling you that. So
you need some burn cream, Stat?
Bernie Alexander, Raider Kev in the building. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are live right now on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch and Roku TV. BS3 TV on Roku. Very easy to do. Go to your Roku TV or device, type in BS3 TV, and that'll get you right. Get all access to all of the great content. We're live on there right now. But this is the Fourcast. We review movies, documentaries, films like you've never seen before, completely different way, 4 different perspectives, and we come hitting it hard every single Monday right at this time. Tonight, we kind of, not necessarily a throwback, it's a 2019-20 film.
It's a toss back, yeah.
Yeah, toss back, yeah. Toss it over your shoulder. But Just Mercy, starring MichaelBJordan, Jamie Foxx, Brie Larson. Those of you that are Marvel fans probably remember her. But we wanted to do this one kind of because some of us have and have not seen it. So first off, I'm not going to go to the person to my right because, you know, there's always some skepticism and mystery and stuff. Yeah. I'm going to go to HRap. HRap, how you doing tonight? Give me your initial thoughts.
First of all, HRap, before you say that, let me just say this. My papa used to say a hurt dog will holler. So if you throw a rock into a pack of dogs, the one you hit gonna holler. So we must hit a dog.
Make sure you put Raider Kev's comment up there too.
He said, wow, Wilks and Foxx.
They got us in the basement, dog.
Hey, Raider Kev, you watching too hard, man.
Hey, I love that, man. You paying attention to details. I love that.
Thank you.
His gift, thank you for tuning in.
Whose gift?
Rajan's gift.
Huh?
That's Rajan's gift.
Okay.
He kept I hope he kept the receipt.
Wow.
Whoa.
Nah, that's my dog, man.
Wow.
Whoa. About to test
it
that.
Had to be. He doing names and stuff.
That's fine.
Yeah, do that one more time. You got a weak ass machine gun over there. I know that.
Hey, I can upgrade it. Don't worry.
Please.
All right, HRap the Angel.
That's right. Fresh out of heaven rap. But
What's up?
I mean, I thought it was a pretty dope movie, man. A lot of people who didn't know that people who knew I hadn't seen the movie, they was like, man, you gonna be mad, HRap. Dawk even said it. These kinds of films don't upset me, man. You know. By the way, my horns hold up my halo. But these kinds of films don't upset me at all, man. I mean, partly because I'm a history buff. I really enjoy history. I really enjoy learning about things. So, I got a homeboy. I ain't gonna say his name because maybe he don't want the world to know. But I got a homeboy who did 25 years for a murder he didn't commit. He did 25 whole years. So he went to prison in the 90s, then get out to 05. So,
wow. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, and this is based on a true story. For those of you that have not seen it, Brian Stevenson is a real person. MichaelBJordan in this movie starred as an actual lawyer that is still practicing law and still helping people get off of death row. I was gonna say Willie D, but it's not Willie D. It's what's his name?
That's who
Johnny
Foxx. Johnny D.
I was about to say Willie D, but no boy.
The cleanup man, Willie D. Willie D is the cleanup man.
Wow.
I remember that. Yeah, Dawk, I know Dawk remember that. Dawk remember that, Jack.
Yeah.
I was gonna come to you first too, because you posted something on Facebook. I don't know if you said, man, this is predictable or something. Was that?
No, I said it was dope.
Okay. Well, you posted something. I wondered if that was why you were watching it.
No, I said powerful.
Okay.
No, I enjoyed it, man. I mean, everybody was like, you never seen this and you never seen this. And I didn't realize what the movie was until I looked at it. Well, until I saw who was in it. And at that point, I was kind of sick of MichaelBJordan, man, because they was turning him into the next Chadwick Boseman. I'm like, come on, man. It's more than two black people in Hollywood, man. And that's, to be honest with you, that's why I didn't watch it initially. But I'm disappointed I did, because it was a pretty dope movie, man.
Well, thank you, Miss Jackson. Stars, Miss Jackson. Thank you for tuning in. That's her last name. I'm not about to go to that first name. Just call her Miss Jackson.
Oh, that's Lanisha.
Appreciate that. All right, Doc, we'll go to you.
HRap, I didn't think you'd be mad necessarily about watching it. I just thought you'd enjoy the film. I thought it was right up your alley. So I was super excited when I found out that you hadn't seen it. I'm like, oh, shoot. It's like this for me. It's like if I had not seen Breaking Bad and I had that series to look forward to, or The Sopranos and I had that series to look forward to, I would be so happy right now knowing what that is and knowing I got a whole series to watch. So again, same feeling for you. When you hadn't seen Just Mercy, I'm like, this your kind of shit. Yeah. So So, but yeah, I had seen it already. Still got a lot of new stuff out of it. Glad we did this film. I think it's a good one. So
yeah,
excited to get into it. And I'm excited to find out what Wilks got in this cup tonight.
Sipping tequila, Terramana, Rasposado, just some lime and some ice. That's it.
See, he's simple yet complex.
Right.
If you miss it, see, regular folks, Mayhem, let me just say this. I get you.
Yeah.
Ben, Trey, and HRap, they don't necessarily get you like I get you. I understand the complexities within your simplicity, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thank you.
They're not as refined as I am. I don't care how many pinkies he put. I ain't never seen a Joker with 3 pinkies. Hey,
you putting every last one of the fingers. Let's give a couple shout outs to Jungle Brother. Thank you for tuning in. He just had a show today, Top 50 show, which he does every year. Make sure to check him out on Breaker.
He gave us mad props, man. Both Built for This Network and BS3.
Okay, that's what's
All
up.
right.
Appreciate
All right.
that.
Jungle Brother put a lot of work into all his shows. His shows are a whole lot of fun, and he uses this term playing radio. And he purposely walks up to the line without crossing over. It's very entertaining.
Mm.
Him and his crew, the Real Cast Rangers, check him out.
Yeah. And he says that he's doing a 30-minute show.
Yeah, this show that's called the 30-minute show.
But it's never a 30-minute show. It's about an
His
hour.
intro is 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this one is beginning to be, we don't hear what the hell is.
All right, Wilks, what's your thoughts?
It was actually a movie that I had forgotten about because I remember Jamie Foxx. I was wondering what kind of role he was playing, and then I saw Michael B. Jordan, and of course it just kind of came and went. And then you guys had mentioned it, and I had never seen it, but it's a really good movie. Kind of to me, because my mom watching, kind of like A Time to Kill and Mississippi Burning, those kind of took me back when I was kind of watching some of this. But
yeah, that's a good point.
I thought it was real good. I enjoyed it. I liked it. That was real good.
It definitely had that nostalgia. Because during the point in the movie, Michael B. Jordan had those Nike Cortezes on. I don't know if y'all
I
peeped that. But I've been trades for days. I wasn't wearing Nikes back then. I was wearing Adidas, but I was rocking that.
Yeah, we couldn't afford. I didn't have no Cortez.
That's some dope man Nikes, man.
Exactly.
That's me.
All right, so let's get right into it. It is based on a true story. First off, I already mentioned that, but it starts off 1987, Monroe County, Alabama. How many of you guys know where that is before watching this?
Stop.
No.
None of it.
Shit, is Alabama even in the United States, man?
Right. I mean, that ain't even America, man. And that's where my grandma from. I asked my grandfather once about Alabama. He was like, the birds fly upside down. I was like,
just let it go. Just let it go.
But I'll say one thing throughout this movie is the nostalgia, which is almost like you couldn't tell, especially when we were doing the interviews, you couldn't tell if that was now or that was them going back because they were able to change the lens or how they did it. But that was a nice touch to it.
Oh, he was kind of laughing.
the white man.
All right.
Which one? Shit.
Hey, let me pray.
I don't know if you've noticed, man, but there's plenty of them out there.
Let me go ahead and pray. We straight now.
But
hey, dog, 1 second, dog. You notice how we stuck on the block?
Yeah, I got it. I was gonna let that ride.
You happy now?
Wow. Hollywood Squares.
Right, exactly. All right, so Michael B. Jordan, obviously the young lawyer, but kicking off the movie.
Change it back, man. I can't get with you.
Yeah, that's right. Go back to the car.
That was all trying, so I'm just trying to help y'all out. There you go.
That's perfect right there.
I don't want you on the bottom.
Of course it is.
That's perfect right there, ain't it, man?
Yeah, but Michael
It's
B.
only
Jordan,
right that you give the viewers what they want. Yeah, Otis.
Otis.
Nobody come to see you, Otis.
You ain't selling no records.
all right.
I promise you we're gonna review a movie tonight.
Get
Promise
there.
you.
You gotta get there
Some
sooner.
point.
You gotta get there. But anyway, Michael B. Jordan playing Brian Stevenson, young attorney just getting out of law school. And
Not just any law school shit.
Harvard, exactly. I mean, he could have went a completely different route, but he decided to go to Alabama. and help these people that were on death row that shouldn't have been on death row.
Mhm.
But Johnny D, so played by Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx again, I think another great role for him. But this was my second time seeing it, so I kind of already seen it. So HRap, I'm gonna go to you first. So initially going into the movie, you see he's cutting down the trees, and you see him driving. What was kind of your thoughts? Did you think, okay, he's about to get pulled over? What was your thinking?
When I was watching that, man, I'm watching him cut down the trees, and I you know what? Honestly, I assumed that they were gonna come and get him before he started driving. But once he started driving, they pulled him over. I halfway, it was just, I was thinking, damn, they gonna kill him, and I thought it was gonna be a take back, one of those joints where you take back, throwback, they planned the end to the beginning.
Yeah.
But once they arrested him, once they pulled him over, you knew it was over. And it is just a sad commentary that this is in 1980, 86 or 87?
Yeah.
And
87. Yep.
It was 87. And it's like, damn, here we are 33 years later, and we still going through the exact same thing. And it's a sad commentary in regards to the state of the country. And, it's just jacked up, man, because to this day, you still get pulled over in DWB, and you're done for.
Right. Pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. For some reason, I don't know, HRap, you froze on. Everybody else was moving, but you froze for some reason. I don't know.
No, maybe I was just sitting still.
All right.
Bob and weave, man. Bob and weave, man.
Guard your face. Guard your face.
Hit the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, ironically, this is exactly what I'm gonna be talking about tomorrow. And it's just, I honestly believe this is a sneak peek at tomorrow. We keep talking about reimagining the criminal justice system. We need to reimagine the country. And the CRT thing is exactly what is needed, but they're using it as a tool to politicize things. And if we actually start studying history, you'll stumble across the fact that Thomas Jefferson, one of the architects of the Constitution, said you need to rewrite this every 20 years. He said every 19 to 20 years. How is it that we are living in a country that's being governed by a 200-year-old document, 240-year-old document?
Really?
Right. It's just sad commentary.
I mean, you still have laws in states that are still active, but because they're so whatever, we don't enforce those. Why is it that Colorado, about 3 years ago, just made lynching illegal? I mean, that was like 3 years ago.
Slavery's still legal in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But because, and I want to say there's some part in like Greenville, Texas here, or somewhere up around Sherman or something, where it's like, no, I think it was like Lubbock or something like that. But there's still like this segregation law, but they don't enforce it. And it's like, because why is it not cast down? Why is it not abolished? But because it's so far back, I guess to them, they think, oh, well, we don't live like that now, but you still have them active. It's an active law. You haven't canceled it out. So it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Right. All right. So Dawk and Wilks, you guys have seen it before?
This was my first time. I had watched it.
All right. So Wilks, I'll go to you then.
Yeah, there you go.
Kind of that initial, those initial couple of scenes. What was your
I was thinking, so I was actually, when he was cutting down the street, I didn't know what to expect there, but as he was driving, I thought maybe he was going to get home and he's going to be sitting down with his family. And I'm like, okay, either somebody's going to surround the house or however this is going to turn out, or they're going to catch him, in the morning coming out of the house. I didn't really know how they were going to try to, I guess, frame it, but I just thought it was going to be in the middle of him kind of just right in front of his family. They were going to drag him off and throw him in the back with no questions. It's like, they already got your guns drawn, but you see my hands up, but they don't care about that. So, but yeah, I didn't really know what to expect from the tree cutting. But as far as him driving, but then when I saw what happened, I'm like, oh, well, I already know how this is gonna go. So
Yeah, you knew
he ain't gonna be sitting in that truck too much longer. So
Right. And I think also we got to point out that he was a businessman. This was his business.
yeah,
Like let's point that out and put that out there, that it wasn't as if he was doing something illegal. He was doing his own business. And so I think that's, I definitely wanted
yeah,
to
because they never really went further in. I mean, obviously they never really talked about it after that. I take it closed up. I don't know if anybody was still running it. I don't know if anybody was still working it. Obviously, I guess.
Hey, are y'all still seeing me froze? I keep getting.
Well, let me just say this. I just got a text from one of the queens that said, is HRap in the Matrix or some shit? And I said,
right. Okay, that's why I started moving my head. I'm like, hey, let me move. You said I'm froze. I'm looking at my internet connection and it's full.
They clowning the internet clowning you tonight, man.
Yeah, it's third text. I got you frozen.
They say your internet connection is the same one the season queen used. Because they perform the same way.
I'm holding it down. But no, I mean, I'm looking at the thing, saying I'm good.
I think
keep moving.
I think they can hear you, but it's just, you're not moving at all.
Man,
all right, so maybe just go out and come back real quick just to see.
I don't know. I mean,
what happened to HRap? I don't know.
He is froze right there.
He's still moving on my. He ain't froze one time on my situation.
Yeah, he froze once, but I mean, he's still moving now.
See there, I told you I heard dog holler. Look at that. Now HRap, don't rock like that, man. That make it seem like this mental health awareness week. So
and remember, March is autism.
Don't rock like that, man.
And remember, March is Autism Awareness Month.
Yeah, it ain't March yet.
But
see, okay. Man. Let's not do it. We better than that.
Didn't say anything.
We are better than that. I like to tell myself.
I don't know if you're doing
Hey man, I don't see me frozen in this saying I'm at full bars.
Don't worry about it, man. Just keep rolling.
Man,
can y'all hear him though?
Yeah, we can fight through. See, this is me and you, HRap, but we can fight through mayhem fuzzy ass for 17 weeks. Hell, we deal with a little froze every now and then.
What I'm talking about.
As long as y'all can hear HRap, that's the most important.
God, that was terrible.
Thank you for tuning in.
It was terrible.
All right,
Big Mo in the building.
Big Mo. Hey, I wanted to ask you, did Big Mo make the intro for? Was that him rapping on the?
That's him rapping, closing out my show, and then opening up my show with the sun.
I didn't know that. I was like, that sounded like Big Mo, but I didn't know if that was him.
Nice.
Yeah, he killing it, man.
Definitely. Big ups, man. I didn't know that. All right, so the first death row inmate, his name was Henry. This is J. Alphonse Nicholas. He's been in quite a few movies, but that was, I mean, right out the gate, that was extremely touching, man. To the fact that when he came, he said, "Hey, your date's not going to be this year," and just the joy that he had on his face. I think MichaelBJordan, especially in this role, being a young lawyer, didn't understand the impact that he was going to have. But I think that moment kind of solidified him, like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. And so, Dawk, I wanted to go to you first. Give me your thoughts on that scene.
Yeah, it was interesting to see how they worked through MichaelBJordan's. There has to be some skepticism, in his thought process to be able to do something like he was doing. I mean, think about it for a second. His own family had put it there. I mean, his mama was like, why are you doing this to me? Yeah. You finna get ready to go get, lynched or whatever the case may be for what you're trying to do. And what it's just so difficult to understand and just realize about this situation, man. This was 1987. Hell, I mean, we
Sick.
wasn't, you know, we was, I mean, hell, HRap, man, you, I'm a, what am I,
I'm a
junior?
senior. I'm a senior in high school.
Sophomore or junior at that time, man. And
When you were
it's,
junior, I was a senior.
man, you know, so
88
that's,
is my year.
yeah. And again, just think of how, this is where this took me, man, is that, which was different than the last time. Just think of how close we were, HRap, to finding ourselves in a predicament that could have went so sideways it ain't even funny, you know, because again, in 1987, it was happening. I went to a high school that the Confederate flag was their flag, South Gordon High School. The rebel flag was it.
Yeah,
and it's just now changing their mascot this past year in 2021. The mascot just officially changed. The team name just got changed from the Colonels to the Titans. So we had dealt with we had back in 88, 87, somewhere in there, man, we actually had marches taking place out there, man, you know, where you got they side on one side of the street and I side on the other side of the street, man, you know, where we all in school and they like, we on lockdown, we can't leave because the protest going on outside about that flag. So, but it's just hard to believe. You know, I was so interested in chasing skirts at the time and playing ball. Nothing didn't matter to me as long as your skirt was right. Shout out to the twins born in 1989.
I was praying.
Oh, that skirt don't look like the Confederate flag, right? We good?
No. Sometimes I needed it to look like the Confederate flag so I can exact our revenge on it.
As long as the Dawk there every night.
But yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna leave that word.
Now that I think about, now that he said that, when I think about 1987, 88, you had the Bensonhurst situation in New York City. Hell, the police had just kicked my ass the year before in 86. Me, Big Illinois, and my man Drash, we walking down the street. I'm spinning the ball on my finger, and we literally across the street from the basketball court. They asked me, "Where y'all coming from?" Really, I laughed. Tuned my goofy ass up.
Yeah, man. And see, on this, there was some jealousy that I missed the first time too. With this Jamie Foxx being this business owner, man, he didn't like that. I think they did a good job of trying to point that out. You know, we're not just gonna go pick any nigga,
right?
We're gonna get a good one off the street, you know. And that's exactly what they tried to do. You know, he talked to you driving this fancy truck and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
You ain't got no boss.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that wasn't popular.
He ain't like that. He ain't like that at all.
And then just think about it in the Greenwood situation that everybody talks about in Tulsa. It's been rumored that started because homeboy went past the brother's house and he had a piano in his house and the white boy couldn't afford a piano. And then,
wow,
believe it.
Yeah, let's get to this comment by Big Mo saying Confederate flags are flying at every other house here in Pickens County, South Carolina, flying on pickup trucks and gun stores all over the city. Yeah. The flag, and most of the flags that we see here is Trump 2024. Gotta give the kids forecast for the kids.
Somebody love you, boy.
9 o'clock. It's on a school night, so I can put 2 and 2 together. Hell, I done been there. Time to go to bed.
Yeah.
And she got the sleep mask on. That's the difference between our kids and what we was. We couldn't afford no sleep mask. They get sleep masks and Bluetooth speakers and shit in their rooms. You know.
Yeah.
You slept with a T-shirt around your forehead.
Put the pillow over your face.
with a stocking cap.
Right.
Got a run in it.
Wow. Because that's the one she don't need.
Man, that run ain't gonna give you no waves.
Damn.
Right. The Trump flag is flying right beside him. Yeah. I'm not
sure. No kidding though, man. I fly a red, black, and green flag in my car.
Oh yeah?
Off the mirror.
That's what's up.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. All right, so president.
We posted the call-in number, so we get tested out. Somebody give us a call 469-290-4367.
1-800 butt naked under my clothes.
Is that? Do you know if that's the number that'll come out every time you try to go there, or do they change it every time?
No, that's gonna be the same one. It's a Google Voice number, so
Okay, cool.
it'll be the same one every time. So I think one of the most touching things is, and Wilks, I'll go to you. You wanted to add something to this, but when he was in the jail talking to him, and he was like, "Just come back, just come back, Brian." You think like being able to see someone on the outside that's
Right.
actually supporting you, knowing that they had no support, they had no legal support. They had legal support for a short time, but that wasn't really.
Yeah, I think that's the moment when he realized that, you know, if I can do this much for this gentleman, you know, who knows what I can do, and just hit the ground running. But let me just go back and recollect myself. Oh, got a call. Go ahead and answer. Go ahead and answer.
Call from
Ivan Dawkins.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Let's see what he got.
Answer the phone, man.
Let's see what he got to say, man.
Hold on. We hold on a second.
Look at that. See,
I didn't realize he was gonna say one. There you go. Say something.
the forecast sucks. You gotta go through all that to answer the phone, man.
I get you this other number when we get off.
I can probably change it so I don't have to do that. But anyway, it's a real radio. You can't just call in straight to the people. You got to push a button or something first.
Anyway. Go ahead, caller.
Right.
Yeah.
You ain't got Sybil over there producing.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Right.
Man.
Anything else you need to add?
Yeah, no, I think that was just, I think he realized at that moment he had work to do. If this one person can buy into what I'm trying to do and the ways I'm trying to move and just help others. Like he said, he knew he had an idea of helping people. He just didn't know how about going about it. But and honestly, that was the first step right there. He was already in just showing up. And like that guy said, just come back. And sure enough, you just come back and just pick up where you left off. I mean, I think it was pretty significant that he knew then he had something to do and he had to stay dedicated. So,
yeah,
I'm cold blooded, Justin. I ain't frozen. I'm just cold blooded, like Rick James.
Cold-blooded. Thank you for tuning in, Justin, host of Elevate Podcast, thought-provoking conversations. Him and CJ with the side camera. Tell CJ to put the camera in front.
Yeah. We don't want to see your whole body. You ain't sexy, bro.
You get CJ a tripod. Something, but appreciate you, Justin, tuning in. All right, so 2 years later, they fast forward 2 years later, and I wanted to point out they had Alabama Shakes. I mean, what a perfect song, Alabama Shakes.
the song was garbage, but the band was great.
It's in Alabama, so they had to pick.
It was a garbage
They could
song.
have picked Ruben Studdard then. He from Alabama.
You know what else? Like we kind of overlooked it. When the fact that MichaelBJordan actually understood the fact that these public defenders and things of that nature, they just pretty much travel agents for the prisons. People always hit a number. When you talk about the feds, the federal government has a 99% conviction rate. Yeah, because they go in there and say, we're going to lock you up forever or you can take this 5 years. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody taking it forever.
Right.
They go home. So these dudes pretty much travel agents for every prison system in every state in the United States of America. He knew he had to do something. And it's better than most people do in America. They just complain. And then they go get the money and they chasing the bag. So, man, shout out to the brother who did it, man, because he didn't have to join the Innocence Project. He didn't have to do any of that. Like we pointed out, he was a Harvard attorney. With those type of connections, just Harvard law on your resume gets you in 1988 $250,000 right off the bat.
Yeah,
$250,000 a year. So,
wow. I mean, he could have went a completely different route. And people around him tell him, "Hey, you should go a different route." But he decided to go this route because that was the most impact.
Well, yeah, just like even like the guy, I can't remember his name, but he went to visit him. He's like, this town, if you go down this road, it's going to open a wound, and just just tear people apart. How could you take me back through this trauma again? It's like, you're already trying to deter me, but I'm focused though. You're trying to get me to hush up, but that's not what I'm here to do.
You don't want the truth. You don't want
the truth. You send an innocent men.
Getting embarrassed.
Right.
Yeah. So the fact, and also I wanted to bring up, he was sleeping on the lady, his secretary's couch. I mean, that's dedication, man. Because he could have got his own. He could have got his own place in New York doing real estate law or something. I mean, he could have did really whatever he wanted. Right. But to me, that shows sacrifice. So I don't know if y'all peep that or anybody want to add anything onto that.
Yeah, man. Like you said, man, just think about that. You go from the potential making $250,000 a year. You are in one of the most prestigious law programs in the United States of America. You turn on all that money to go sleep on somebody's couch to make sure brother's not going to the penitentiary or going to the electric chair on BS. So that's dedication in itself. So yeah, man. I mean, this dude, and he's still out here doing it. And we need to clone this guy. And if we can clone him, we might have a chance.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So he ends up going to the prison, basically seeing the slave tactics, them basically mowing lawns, and I mean that's exactly what that looked like when they were driving past there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But just how demeaning it was when he got there and he had to strip. I mean that again, that was another moment where he could have said, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Like, did you think about your purpose? That was definitely his purpose. He's still doing it today.
Yeah, it was definitely an emasculating move intentionally because it was not even required at the time, and he knew the law. He knew that you can't. That's not how this goes,
right. Oh yeah,
he knew, it was the law inside of there, though.
Right. Shout out to Rob Morgan. He was in Don't Look Up. He's also been in a variety of other movies. He was Herb in this movie. I don't know if y'all peeped that too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Herb.
He had the Wesley Snipes hair and Don't Look Up.
Exactly. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Looked like a rug.
Wait, what is this?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Shout out to O'Shea Jackson Jr. Ice Cube little boy played Anthony Ray Hinton. So that was another thing that I didn't realize about this particular movie is that there were some other national cases in that same prison being dealt with by that same attorney on the same death row, situation.
Legit people. Because at the end, I didn't watch. I think before I just watched it and that was it. But they had parts at the end also that kind of talked about live. So Justin says, was that Sundown Town?
Yeah.
See, I mean, the whole concept, this whole thing, man, it is mind-boggling because 40% of the population from Louisiana to Georgia is black. How are you in control of something and we make up 40% of the population? And
I think it's a sense of just keeping people uneducated, just it's information, keep it hidden. They're not going to go find it. So it's like you said, once you give them the tools and the information, I think this is a powerful thing at that point. You change the narrative.
Right.
It's crazy, man. I mean, dude, this dude sat on, and then look, check it out. They take the white boy and put him on death row before he even go to court.
Oh, yeah, they were trying to get him out of there. Look, they don't want him to talk.
Yeah, and they did that to Johnny D before he even went to court. Like that's
Tactics.
that's trifling.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they know what they're doing.
Exactly. Cedric Trotter.
Trotter.
Yeah.
1/5 of the Fab Five, the original Fab Five, man.
That's
We used to
what's up.
Fab Five before Chris Webber in there, man. Me said Trotter, Larry Brandon, Alex Brandy, Terrence Newsom, and
Big Illinois wasn't in that.
now Big Illinois, he was at another high school. He was at the other high school that I graduated from, allegedly. I used to cut school so much people think I went to Lincoln Park.
Thank you for tuning in. DJ 2 Cute says hello, everyone. Thank you. All right, so
Did you get that question? Or do we answer it? Justin's question about a sundown town?
On downtown.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to add on to that?
No, I just didn't know if we had answered it or not.
No, I don't think that was a sundown town. That was just a situation to whereas they needed to put, like Dawk said, he was a successful black man without a boss. Because he said, so you ain't even got no boss, huh? And that was the end of it right there. That was the just of it right there. We don't need you being an example to none of these young black people. So we're going to lock you up and make an example out of you.
Right.
And then it destroys it kills the hope.
Yeah, and that's my answer to the whole, Louisiana to Georgia, 40% of the population. It's not just quote unquote keeping them uneducated, right? Because can you keep somebody uneducated if they want to be? The key to me is that they're keeping them unmotivated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key. And again, that's one of the ways you do that. You stamp out any, sense of hope, any example of hope, any demonstration of a real kind of freedom, right? So you keep them unmotivated. You don't need to keep them. You can care less about the education, right? Don't we all know the people who got the education, who, even some HBCU grads and some, Harvard grads and some, whatever that could care less, what did you say, HRap, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, all kinfolk ain't skinfolk, or whatever the case may be. So again, it ain't just about the education. Sometimes it's about the motivation.
Yeah, I mean, historically, the United States of America has destroyed every black person who stepped up. You look at Medgar Evers, former military, a lawyer, fighting for civil rights, Martin King, Malcolm X, Huey Newton, Rap Brown in jail right now.
Yeah.
So
all right, so we're talking about Just Mercy, those that may be just coming in. Released 2019, 2020. So the hearing and hearing the inmates talk to Brian as he was kind of going throughout and getting to getting to know each one of them. And I thought that, again, that was another moment. I think there was a lot of confirmation, I think, for him. It's like, I can actually really do something. I can actually really help. Yeah. Then when he got to Johnny D, which is kind of the main character of the movie, he really didn't want to hear it because he's already been through it before. And I think that was a major point in the movie because he really had to convince him. His family was like, yeah, let's do it. We don't have to pay nothing. I mean, you can actually do what you say you're going to do, then we're all in. But trying to convince Johnny D, I think, was obviously the hard part.
Yeah, because at that point they've lost all trust in anything. It's like, you take my money and run, and nobody wants to listen to the truth, the facts. Yeah, who's gonna stand up for us?
And what's really remarkable and noteworthy, man, is the fact that Johnny D was, even the thought of hope, even the talk of hope pissed him off. And he go, I ain't doing this shit again. Yeah. He didn't want to hear it. Don't even put it in my head to get me starting down that road of hope. He didn't want it, man. And whenever they got you mad at hope or mad at the possibility of hope, man, that's strong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's strong, man.
That'd break your wheel right there.
Yeah, man. That's what it. Wow.
I mean, and just the trickle down effect of what we were talking about initially. That's why so much violence in places like LA, New York, Chicago, Baltimore, and other places. Because without no hope, there can be no remorse. How you gonna tell me I ain't got no hope? I don't think tomorrow's worth a damn. So what do I care about her being Mayhem, Dawk, or HRap? I kill all y'all. You know what I mean? That's how these young dudes thinking. And people always say they crazy. No, they're not crazy. I got a very good friend, man, who grew up in the same neighborhood I grew up with. He's been on my program several times. And I remember me and him sitting up. We were talking about the night he did get shot. He was like, man, I always knew I was going to get shot. I just wondered where I was going to get shot at.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a wildly intelligent brother. You know, he not a goofy. He's college educated, but how you gonna tell us about hope? And when you got intelligent, good people wondering when and where will I get shot, not if. There was no if in my man's conversation. It was when.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
What you doing, man? Man, can't have nothing nice.
Hey, man, you gotta test it out when it's live. You gotta see. Put a little background music.
Bad boys. What you gonna do?
That our call us now commercial. We're taking a little break.
Call them now for you reading. Hey, they're coming out with a documentary on that. We definitely got to do that.
Oh Lord, call me now for your free reading. Oh, Miss Chloe.
I wonder am I still freezing? Ain't nobody said nothing, so I guess I stopped freezing.
You've been good on this side.
You still froze. I don't know why.
Is he really?
Here it looks fine, but if you go to Facebook or YouTube for some reason, I don't know. It could be this.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm about to go to YouTube and see.
Everybody can hear you, but they just can't. All right, so
Avatar. He's froze again right here now. On my end.
Yeah, we just unfroze.
Yeah, they just say I'm still froze. Hey man, it's a mug shot.
As long as y'all can hear him, we can work through the other stuff. You're frozen. Yes.
Oh God. Sound like Mika jealous that she ain't Leo to me. Team Leo in the building. Y'all can get up off my girl Nikki. And Lee. Y'all jealous of us, man. Y'all don't want to see these.
Well, we can still hear you.
Who your favorite president? He a Leo.
You still hear and we can hear you.
George W. Bush is not a Leo.
Wow.
Thank you, Adrian. I mean, thank you, man. Appreciate you, son.
No problem.
See, these Leos all over the place. They're in the building, baby.
My wife's a Leo, so
see, you even love Leo. Hey man, I ain't froze on my joint, man. Oh, yes, I am. Man, I'm like this.
All right, so Brian's starting to uncover, which obviously there's holes, and obviously he didn't do it. It was a matter of how he was going to get to it.
You said obviously there's holes.
There was holes in the case.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I ain't seen no holes in there.
Wow.
Holes in the case. Bessie Cofield, thank you for tuning in. She says yes. Leo Rule Team Leo.
Who know Bessie?
I know Bessie.
Of course you do, because he know all the old sounding names. He know what's the Aretha? What's her name? Doretha.
Theodore.
Yeah, that's my aunt.
Man,
bro.
He know all the old sounding names. So anytime, my apologies, Bessie.
No, not Bessie ain't my aunt.
Okay, good. Glad.
Lord.
Yeah, he know all the old sounding names. So if an old sounding name come up there, being we don't have to ask no more who they know. This is obviously HRap.
I'm on the senior circuit, Jack.
In the senior circuit. Oh man.
He said, really? It's just jokes.
Yeah, Bessie.
Just jokes. So the file that I guess that was the district attorney that handed over to him, which was basically like the smallest possible folder,
Right.
4 sheets of paper in there. He's like, where the rest of it at?
Yeah.
That's what I'm giving you right now. I'm not gonna basically like I'm not gonna make this easy for you. I'm gonna make this as hard as possible. You don't make us look stupid, even though we are stupid.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Pretty much.
And one thing also, if you look at the difference when he was driving through the white community and they were all staring at him, then when he drove through the black community, you see everybody waving and they didn't know him either in either community, but you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
It was more so, more so welcoming because I think the word started to spread that they knew who he was, what he was trying to do. So,
yeah, we've been sitting on porches waving at cars pass by for ages now, right?
You knew the headlights coming down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you know what, man? This is just a sad. It's just it just continues to be a sad commentary that we keep looking at each other instead of just. I mean, how like at that one scene when he was at the state's attorney's door, he came to his house. He said, "Dude, you a good dude. Why are you telling this lie?" Well, I'm trying to keep people safe. And he like, who's people?
That's right, man. That line right there, that
powerful, man.
Yeah, exactly.
This is one of the situations where, as more than I think, like a lot of people are angry watching this, and I understand it, or just dejected or disappointed watching this, and I understand all those emotions. But you should be motivated to do something, and this is what I talk about on the show. It's like this is why we need to be civically engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no way under God's green earth, on God's green earth, that Louisiana brother, the brother who's running for senator in Louisiana, he should beat John Kennedy's brains out, because John Kennedy is clearly anti-impoverished people. People, you want to make this a black and white thing, but look, Donald Trump don't like poor white people. The criminal justice system don't like poor white people. You saw the way they was treating homeboy.
Right.
He said, I ain't finna allow nobody, man. I just lock me up. And he went to jail about it. But when he realized that his life was in jeopardy, he had to bow down. Nobody want to die. Mm-hmm. So even with, you can look historically, George Wallace, former card carrying, he was the Union chief of that segment of the Ku Klux Klan in Alabama. And King stepped to him and said, look, man, we need to be working together. And he died after he changed his mind. He died saying the biggest mistake, this is a card carrying bigot. He died saying the biggest mistake of his life was not working with Dr. King.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, they had him on something, of course, sitting next to this. I don't remember who it was, so I hate to discredit him, but George Wallace, they were interviewing him on something. He was sitting next to a black gentleman. And he would, of course, he was kind of, like he said, he had that regret because, like he said, at that time he was just being ignorant as usual. But yeah, I remember that comment, but I can't remember what the interview was on. But
yeah.
That's after he got that bullet put in his ass too, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he capped his ass.
And to piggyback on HRap's civic engagement, we're really good at episodic diligence versus sustained diligence. So when there's been an episode, when there's been a tragedy, an event, we good. We hey, you're gonna come out with a new rap song and motivate us and a catchy phrase, and we good. We got you for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. But there's no sustained diligence, there's episodic diligence. And that's the difference. And see, as far as I'm concerned, what needs to take place, and the main reason is everybody ain't good at doing the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody ain't good at organizing. Everybody can't fund, right? Fund it. Everybody can't do the day-to-day of it. You got to have people that's willing to do all aspects of it and not try to get the dude who should just be funding it, trying to run the day-to-day of it. That ain't his calling. That ain't his blessing. His blessing is to be able to be a financier, a benefactor of the movement, and that's how he's going to impact the movement. The other chick, maybe all she can do is answer the doggone phones, and that's what she needs to do. The other one don't mind sitting there dialing out. And that's what he need to do, et cetera, et cetera. So, I think that's the deal. You got to identify those organizers and executors in finance.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I was on a podcast last year during the George Floyd, and somebody asked, is this a movement or a moment? Like, is this something that's going to go beyond just this one situation, or is this something that's is this just for right now? But we can talk about it. Exactly, David Ruffin. Episodic diligence fades, and so does that change that could come with it. No impact.
And the greatest opportunity we had at what Dawk was just talking about is Dr. King and Malcolm X. Dr. King was an immobilizer. Dr. King started talking, people started coming. Malcolm X was an organizer. When he died, Muslim Mouse Incorporated and 3 other organizations, religious as well as civic, were being created. So if you allow these 2 people to create peace, at that point, Malcolm X had apologized for calling people coons and things of that nature. When you get those 2 dudes together, it's a wrap. Because then you also have people like Stokely Carmichael and Student Nonviolent Coalition Committee. And those dudes, they were young dudes who were rolling with Dr. King, but they had a Malcolm X mentality. You let this thing get rolling, you fix the community in its entirety. But we're gonna bust this down. No, we're not gonna do that. So, with the and then they even, what I'm about to say is pure speculation, but it's not. It's one of those. I'm guessing, but I'm really not guessing, because shortly thereafter, people don't notice that Dr. King's brother, an excellent swimmer, died in a swimming pool with no water in his lungs.
Wow.
So, that's why I think it's about 8 years from now that those unsealed records come about. And they unseal them in 8 years, because everybody who would have been or could have been involved, they hang whatever.
Yeah.
Back, HRap.
I'm back.
Back.
Halo, baby.
Yeah, it's right at 9:30. So some other old folks, Bess and them gone to bed. So the internet signal is better. Aretha and them gone to bed. Miss Clara and them gone to bed. So.
Hey man, that's my auntie, man.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, man, it's just a situation to whereas, I mean, this is a microcosm of America in itself, man. If you don't have any money, your ass is going to jail.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's right.
I personally know of people who have paid their way out of the penitentiary.
Likewise.
Restitution.
Yes, absolutely.
Likewise.
That is a thing.
Now that's not to say that there are some crimes in some obvious nature, right, that you can't buy your way out of. But if it's a way you can buy your way out of it, if they can figure out a way to wrap it up and et cetera, and put some money in their pocket, I'm telling you this moment,
absolutely.
that is 100% true.
Yeah,
it has been asked.
Yeah,
I know recently, within the last decade or so, that question has been asked to somebody when that first 48 hours when they sitting at the table and stuff like that. That question has been asked. What kind of money you rocking with?
Right. Oh yes.
How much can you put together?
Me and Wilks wasn't talking about this today.
Well, I see. We're professionals. Right? We wouldn't have to try to shoehorn that laugh in. It's bad. I mean, I'm talking about we saw it a mile away.
Let's talk about Darnell. Darnell was the family friend that he could prove, what ended up happening. Darnell was also, flashback,
Judas and the Black Messiah, Bobby Rush.
Bobby Rush, yeah.
But
But Darnell was shaky from the jump. I mean, even the first time watching it, so I'm gonna go to HRap and Wilks. You could tell that Darnell didn't want to do it, and if something happened, if it was push to shove, he would be like, "I can't do it. I ain't gonna do it."
They're trying to eat shit.
Yeah, he's like, "Nah, I don't want no part of this."
The difference between a roof over my head and setting a joker free, then that's how. If they give you those choices, what you gonna do? Yeah. That's one thing I hear HRap talk about, that he do not like folks talking about, whether it be back during slavery time or whatever the case may be. Folks talking about shit. I wouldn't. You don't know what you gonna do. Shut up.
It's real easy. Like I've had several conversations with people dissing Dr. King. Oh, I would have been able. Yeah. You ain't gonna do nothing tonight. Right. That couldn't have been me. You know why it couldn't have been you? Because you'd have been your ass at the house.
Right. Yeah. If you'd have played a loud noise after them jokers be talking about what they did, they probably jump out their skin, man.
They ain't gonna fall loud in the whisper. Talking that now. Man, that gets on my nerve, man. Now, but with that being said, I'm kind of going against what I'm saying. I might have popped him if I'd have been what's his name, son. Because after you made the commitment and signed that paperwork,
I'm ready for that. Yeah, that's the show.
Right.
That's my daddy, sir.
Right.
Hey, I thought he was about to fight.
Man, he about to.
You said it. That's what, when he got smart with Michael B. Jordan, that was one of them. Grab me.
Oh man.
Will, you want to add anything on to that?
Just not too much. I mean, it's pretty much kind of what we were saying. I mean, hey, I don't want no parts of this, but I'm trying to survive out here. I'm trying to make it.
These boys have kept his mouth shut down. Hey, Justin, you got to call me, man. OJ didn't do it. Now, I didn't say he didn't pay for it. I just say he didn't do it.
Wow.
I ain't gonna tell you, OJ don't know. OJ ain't got the beeper number of somebody who did it, but
if it don't fit, man.
Hey, it don't fit, man.
You must.
Hey, look, man. I'm gonna say this about the OJ thing. I know a lot of people think my main man Juice did it, but if you got enough blood on you to have blood in your socks, and you get in, I've been in the car with somebody who's been shot, and they were sitting in the back seat. There was blood all over the front seat.
Yeah,
if you got enough blood to be in your socks. You ain't gonna walk in the house. It's gonna be bloody footprints up to your house. So that's all I gotta say about the Juice. Like I say, my man Orenthal was there, but he ain't do.
And the impact of that trial, they rolled the TV. Oh, we got a phone call, but they rolled the TV in the classroom so we could watch the verdict. We got a caller into the Fourcast. What's your name? What you want to talk about?
Aretha.
Oh.
Bessie, that's you?
No, Bessie went to sleep.
That's me.
How are y'all?
Pretty good. How's it going?
How are y'all?
See, you can't tell me. All you gotta do is listen for that Anita Baker voice, and that's who it is.
Baby, because sinuses start acting up after 9 o'clock. You fake David Ruffin, you.
Click.
Yeah, that kid.
Wow.
But I wanted to call in and say I'm so glad to see y'all back.
Shit, what you talking about?
I'm sorry, caller.
Hey, don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. Hey, what you talking about?
I'm sorry, caller. State the nation, the nature of your call. I don't
From west of the Rockies, it's Mika. Thank you, Will, man.
I'm just hating on this futuristic background, and I'm gonna ask the king, why don't we have a number to call in? People want to call in. You're not on your job.
Look at
want to see you, Otis.
Ben, do I have to defend myself here, or can you handle this for me?
It's on.
I think you better handle it, dog. I think
it's on the way. It's on the way. Don't worry.
What you talking about? And see, think about how I was looking out for whenever we was upgrading this equipment. What did I say we was gonna do with the old equipment?
We're gonna give it to the queens.
Hey, you got to crawl
He's
for your
able. He's
Now get
able.
your ass hung up on now.
Let's God with you, everybody.
Now, somebody got to go help Nicole though. So I might have to do the show.
Baby, I ain't got time to go to Oklahoma.
Y'all gonna ball. Hey. Y'all gonna ball my girl.
Baby, it's Team Pisces over here, HRap. I'm good.
Me, my homie, Nikki, Team Leo all day.
Going on the tripod.
Who's your favorite president? Obama, right?
I don't know what he was talking about when he said George W. Bush earlier, but my favorite president is the one, the only, the illustrious Barack Obama.
Team Leo, August 4th.
How much wine is in that glass?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Shout out to Barry.
Shit, I'm gonna answer that question.
The Reaper told me not to tell what I'm doing.
Sorry.
Yeah, we got to test this new phone system out. You don't test it on your show, and if it goes terribly wrong, then it's on your shit. I'm not that stupid.
Wrong before you walk.
Yeah. They say it's a sucker born every minute, so I'm like, let Ben test the shit out.
I already pre-tested it. So
Well, I love the feature. I love this review, and I'm ready to try it out.
All right, we'll get back to your wine drinking.
Don't play the role of HRap.
Say it again.
Don't play the role of HRap and be like this the whole show.
I'm just glad you were smiling that whole 45 minutes you were frozen, HRap.
Wow.
I've been on it.
He was playing red light, green light.
You need to quit. You need to pick a different kind of face, bro, when you go somewhere. Don't, man. Go, man.
Mayhem brought it up, man. Mayhem brought that up.
I'm not doing it.
Not today.
Hey, Justin.
Well, y'all have a good night. That was good. I just wanted to call in, test it out, and say y'all doing it good. Y'all, and get that fake David Ruffin off y'all show.
Hey,
wow. Thank you, caller.
Right.
No problem. Have a good night, guys.
What Norm say? Don't ever damn call her a damn again.
Good night. Bye.
Shout out to my man Vernon Rich.
Chief Rocka.
All right.
The number
Real
one.
quick, I took off they got the screen call feature, so I disabled that, so we good now.
Okay, cool.
Wilks. So Wilks.
What's up?
We need that on Elevate. We can get it on.
I ain't no call in on my show.
Yeah, let's just say this. For the low price, like the low price.
Low price. 2 easy payments.
You too can have.
But wait, there's more.
Put that.
Yeah, the gospel is free, but it ain't cheap, mother.
That's what they say. Everybody passed the plate the second time.
Even Jesus was flipping tables
like this.
Yeah.
Don't leave your hand in the collection plate too long.
All right, hurry up, man. Let's wrap this up. We ain't got but 20 minutes, man.
Rocker say he is.
Huh?
What's the number? Hold on, let me put it up there.
No Rocker gonna call.
Plug it in your phone, Chief.
Always 469-290-4367 right there on the screen.
Yeah, man. But this was the dictionary definition of what's going on in America every day, all day, and it ain't taking no days off, man.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Now, before you call in, when that retrial got denied, I was like, "Come on, man! What else do you need?"
Yeah. But but like when HRap says it's a microcosm, it is a direct reflection of what's been going on. Think about this for a second, man. It didn't matter whether the movies was back in the late 60s that we reviewed, whether it's been in the 70s, whether it's been based on what happened in the 80s, whether it's a movie that we just saw that just came out in 2021. Think of how many times we done said this for all these movies, man, of how they are a direct reflection of what we were going through, right? And they say life imitates art, or is it that art is imitating life?
I'll say B.
Yeah, man.
Chief Rocker, what's going on?
Yeah, Bone Chakalaka, you know who this is, the number one Chief Rocker.
I love it.
The Master Blast is on the line. That's what it is. Yo, man, check this out. Is this the broadcasters or the forecasters? Which one is it?
The Fourcast.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, forecast. Okay. I thought somebody told me broadcasters. I ain't know, man. And shit like that, But Dawk, he on broadcast every goddamn thing. What up, man? What's up, fellas? HRap.
What's going on?
I spelled your name wrong, man. If I did,
It's all good, man. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Okay. Yeah.
We
If you
just
spell it right, I'm not gonna be used to it now.
Yeah, they just stop. Hey, wait, so what's up, man? What's the movie, man? I missed it, man. I was on this long ass phone call, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get off, but they just wouldn't let me get off, man. So
let me just say this right quick while Chief Rock on the line, because I don't want him to think I'm talking behind his back. Remember what I said? All HRap friends got old names. Y'all know what Chief Rock's real name is? Vernon.
Hold on. You said old name?
He got all his friends got old names, man.
What's your name? Alvin?
King Dawk. You see it on the screen. Put it up for him, DNA. You see that?
Who you, Alvin Pussy? That dude that used to wrestle and shit.
I know exactly who that is. I get called out by one of my uncles all the time.
Yeah, man. But yo, man, I just wanted to call in, man, congratulate y'all, man. But it's been a minute now. Y'all been on Monday night, still doing your thing, Sean.
We appreciate you, Chief.
Brothers props. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you, brother. You always there, man. We appreciate the loyalty, man. Appreciate the love.
Hey, but can I get one of them shirts, man?
Yeah, oh yeah. Go. I think they got them on. I think they got them on eBay now. Just check under.
Oh wow.
You ain't shit, dog. Oh, I forgot. Oh, my bad. Hey, then I can't curse, right?
It's all right.
Too late now.
But shoot us your size. I don't know. I got any more Fourcast shirts left, but what I will do for you, Chief, is give me your size. Put it send it to me on Facebook or get it to HRap or something like that, and I'll get you a BS3 Network T-shirt sent out to you. So give me your size and your address.
I never got one of those either. Hey, but Ben, remember the time I came on your show? This was way back, man, when I was with the other group, right?
Yeah.
And I came on your show, right? And you said, Chief, this is a family show. You ain't gonna be able to cuss, man. I did good. I only said one cuss that day, man. And you let me go with that.
Hey, well, I done grown some. So.
Right. And then family shows wasn't getting no damn ratings, so now we cuss like a motherfucker. You hear me?
Yes.
Hey, that's them. You see, I got a halo over my head.
Sorry, Bessie. And don't read halo, Vernon. I'm sorry.
He said, sorry, Bessie, Aretha, and
yo, man, y'all have a good time, man. Y'all keep doing your thing. Hey, Dawk, man.
Theodora,
I'm gonna have to come out that way and see you on Wednesday, man.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna have all my giant shit on. You know what I'm saying?
Got no problem.
And, y'all go put your little cowgirl shit on your pom pom. And, you know, we just have a little NFC East, you know, get together. That's
Come
all.
on, man.
You know,
Come on.
don't send them
Come on,
steaks
man.
off the grill. I heard them steaks down there in Texas is off the chisel.
Hey,
So I want one of them steaks, man.
hey, Chief, my home is always welcome to good people. So for you, there's a Best Western down the road, and we'll just get together on lunch breaks and stuff.
I don't stand Best Western, bro. Y'all got no y'all have no Sheratons or Hiltons, you know. I mean, I stay in a 4 or 5 star joint. You ain't got none of them.
No,
we do, but not in Forney. You get a.
He said, "What kind of joint?"
He said 4 or 5 star joints.
Oh yeah, don't worry about your Chief. I got you. Don't you? Hey,
Yeah.
I'm your concierge. Hey, whatever is clever.
Yeah,
I got you, baby.
he got
You
you.
don't think? Didn't you see that picture with? Didn't you see that picture with HRap sleep on the way home? Here, I got you.
Hey man, see man. Hey, HRap going to sleep is nothing. That's like HRap going to sleep in the sun coming up in the east is going down.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, man? If I get fed good, you know what I'm saying? You know, one of the little thick, you know, thoroughbreds down there rub me down good. So I'm gonna sleep too. Shit.
Man, get him off the phone.
Man,
Man. Get him off the phone.
Hey, y'all, man, I'm gone, bro.
All right,
Peace, bro.
Man, Chief is always one of the best callers, man. On
Yeah, I
any
love
show I've ever listened to him on, he's always the great thing.
I'm gonna do once I get set up over here, Ben. I'm gonna do a straight up call-in show. That's all it's gonna be.
That's the best shows.
Just call in on.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
rap with some of the viewers, man.
Yeah.
Best shows.
Not me.
Yeah.
You don't like call-in shows?
No, I ain't doing one. I don't want to tell everybody shut the hell up.
Oh, you can. I mean, Howard Stern did it.
Right.
Well, maybe I
It
do
got
need to
rich-
get one.
it
If
got
I get
rich.
the Howard Stern cake.
I mean,
Yeah, really.
Hey, so check this out. So I watched this movie before, right? But I did not realize, man, that on January 6, 2020, Microsoft rented out 32 AMC cinemas across the United States and offered paid time off and free movie tickets to all of their U.S. employees to attend a private screening of this show.
Really?
never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Microsoft Court. That's right, man. And that's big, you know. So think about this for a second. One of the things that we get wrapped up in is the why behind what people do, right? Why did this corporation do this, right?
Right.
And you might be able to find 3 or 4 very selfish reasons why they did what they did. But my point is that some gestures, regardless, sometimes doing the right thing for the wrong reason is still doing the right thing. Right. So I got to give a shout out to Microsoft for doing that, man. 32. And then think about it. It wasn't you didn't hear about it, Wilks. Ben, you didn't hear about it. I didn't watch the movie, you know, or whatever. Never heard about it.
I never heard of it.
There's a lot of ways you can get that publicity out there if that's what you was trying to do. But for them to shut it down, let their employees go watch it, et cetera, again, being a diversity coordinator for a company, Fortune 500 company, and being a diversity workshop and training facilitator and the owner of a diversity training company, let me explain something to you. Diversity training comes in a lot of different forms. And to put them in front of it like this, that is a heck of a diversity training move right there.
Absolutely.
It really is, man.
That's why when I watch stuff like these movies, you know, when they have movies like this and these white actors that are taking these roles, what do they walk away from being in a movie like this? Like,
that's right, man. That's the sacrifice. You're right, man. I gotta give it. They getting a paycheck and whatnot.
Right,
but
right.
think about some of the roles that these white folks done play really well in being racist, man. They've done some good jobs at it.
Oh yeah,
and that's got to be a risk, man.
Yeah.
Or some of them ain't playing.
Yeah. And it too well.
Like what's his name? He
Yeah,
played
right.
Sonny in The Godfather. I can't think his name.
Oh, was that Robert De Niro? Was that De Niro? Or was
No,
that
not De Niro.
Oh gosh,
I can't think his name. He a clown. He's a card carrying bozo.
I can't think of his name now.
Yeah, so some of these people ain't playing. You know, you play something too well, you ain't playing. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
You put your comment up there, Jungle. Don't worry.
Haven't DiCaprio been in a couple of those racist roles in a couple of different movies? I don't know if he was in 12 Years a Slave.
12, yeah, he was in Django, and he was in he played J. Edgar Hoover in that Clint Eastwood movie.
That's right.
You know, anything Clint Eastwood do, you got a little sheet in it somewhere.
Oh, and if you ever get an opportunity, go back and check YouTube for some of the Django
James Wood
release circuits, and promotional circuits where they had all them sitting in and talking about it. Samuel L. Jackson and DiCaprio and a couple other ones talking about the movie and what it was like and all that other kind of stuff. Very interesting content.
Yeah. HRap, like he said, that James Wood dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, James
Wood. So the moment where the retrial got denied, that was, watching it the first time, that was a tough moment. And then Herb having to make that walk. I mean, I can't even imagine making that walk to that chair.
Yeah.
He admitted that he did it, but did he deserve death row?
Considering the mental health aspect of the case, right? Yeah. That's another thing I think this film did a good job at, man, is touching on some of the other little, it's like it told you this story, but was able to share with you the tentacles that were attached to this particular case and that were still little issues, right? Even so much as the white attorney who's working for this project, right, for Brian Stevenson's organization, right, again, the Equal Justice Initiative, and the fact that she's still there over 20 years, right? And imagine what that may have cost her in this town, right? We know it early on, but what does she have to go through the rest of her time, right? Because even though this project gets up and running, this is a more respected organization, et cetera, but you still got to go eat at this town or go to the post office in this town or go to the church in this town. I ain't no telling, right? Her story would be interesting, wouldn't it?
And they called in the movie. They said, hey, you got a bomb underneath your house. You helping that nigga lawyer and you helping.
Yeah, and even her husband. Think about the sacrifice. If your wife getting ready to go volunteer for some dangerous shit, what you gonna say, man? Even right now, hours. Let's say if which I don't have a wife yet, holler at me on the call in. Imagine if your wife, man, gonna go start working on something controversial that's gonna put her in danger. And I'm talking about us being black right now. Our black wives going to go do it. What we gonna say?
Black lives matter.
I love it. See there? See what I do? See me and Andrew, we don't have to talk every day. We don't have to talk every day. I can still throw him one up and he know what to do with it. So talking every day is not necessary. That's what we're trying to show you.
Oh, we're talking about talking all day. We talking about what black women saying. Which one is it?
What show? We're talking about Just Mercy. If that's the question.
Yeah, man. It's just, but you know what, man? Like with the thing with Microsoft has never been questioned, but it's just we're so skeptical about everything, any and everything, and I think we need to not worry about the skepticism and just start worrying about what we're viewing. Like, okay, let's just say, for argument's sake, Microsoft goes out and they tell everybody and their mama they did this, but at the end of the day, a bunch of people were awakened by the viewing of this. Right. And that's what we need to start working on.
Yeah. That was an opportunity that they weren't trying. I mean, I say this lightly, but they weren't trying. It was initially trying to get something out of it.
Right.
Because productivity, if you are owner of a company, you let people off, you let them off to watch a movie, like that don't happen. It's not The Office. That don't happen.
Right.
Days.
But what's the beauty of it is that that's if they didn't get anything else out of it, I bet you they got that productivity and buy-in from their staff, man. And at the end of the day, we understand businesses are a bottom line issue, right? So when it comes to all of the diversity factors that you got to deal with nowadays at a corporation, right? For never mind race, but you want to know one of the most battles that are waged, the wars that are waged most heavily right now in the workplace. That's over 40, under 40, and how they think.
Right.
Whereas over 40 thinks we done put in our time. I deserve that promotion. I deserve that amount of money, etc. But the young cats like, I do the job better and I do it twice as fast. So I deserve the position and I deserve the money, not time, So again, diversity. And as a corporation, what if another organization came on and said, you know what, we were motivated by what Microsoft did. We're going to do the same thing for our employees, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, So it sometimes change is incremental, man. And sometimes you're not around long enough to see the impact of what that change actually does. So we don't always get to see the metamorphosis of the caterpillar.
Yeah, and that's the problem. People, we live in this microwave society, and people want things done right now, not now, but right now. And everything must go through a developmental process. So if we're gonna look at it this way, well, why don't we start developing us? And then when we develop us, everybody else will fall in line and acquiesce, or they get run over.
Right.
And that's just the bottom line.
And I'm gonna say this too about the movie, because we hadn't done a lot of review of this movie today, which is okay, right? I mean, let's just one of the most successful radio stations in this particular part of the country, The Ticket, who's won 3 Marconis now, been nominated 7 times. What they're good at it doing is pulling back the curtain, right, Wilks? They pull back the curtain and let you see what's happening. What I'm gonna tell you, like, we hadn't reviewed a lot of this movie. We telling you, we tested phone lines. We tell it, this ain't your Siskel and Ebert show. And guess what? Even if we did nothing but review the movie the entire time and didn't cut out jokes, we still not Siskel and Ebert, because Siskel and Ebert reviewed 10 or 11 shows, 10 or 11 movies in one episode sometime, right? We looked at one, right? So this is just simply the catalyst for our conversation at the end of the day. And we can tell you whether you need to go watch it, and you can get some stuff out of it. We share a few things, but at the end of the day, watching Just Mercy ain't what the most important aspect of what we do is, right? It is the conversation.
Yep. Right. I look forward to the conversation.
Then Siskel and Ebert dead, so we don't want to be them.
Wow.
Man's got a point.
He does.
No Daisy pushing up over here.
Now let's see. I teed Ben up to be able to give the ratings. So now let's see what he does with it. Back to you, Ben.
Before I do that, before we get to that point, Tim Blake Nelson, who played Ralph Myers, I think he did a hell of a job.
Yeah, man.
Agreed. Face basically had to do the whole thing like this. I mean,
like with Bell palsy.
Exactly. Gotta get that dude his props.
Yeah,
he definitely showed.
And did it without drooling on himself.
Well, we don't know that.
We don't know that.
They just didn't capture it.
They didn't capture that. Eating juicy fruit and drinking a sun-kissed orange. Now, I wanted to, let's get to the final thoughts. Also, I wanted to point out a couple of stats at the end of the movie. But 130 death row inmates released. That was through the Innocence Project with Brian Stevenson. Also from Ray Hinton, who they helped out. He was in prison for 30 years. And Brian Stevenson, 30 years working on helping innocent people in jail. So I definitely wanted to point that out. An amazing movie. Watching it the second time was even better. And it's different to me. It's different than just watching a movie leisurely and watching it for the forecast, because there's more attention to detail than me just watching it casually. And I take it, I take it seriously, because this is.
And for me now, when I watch a movie just off the rip, off a jump, or just whatever, I think about the forecast when I'm watching it, right? And hey, you want to talk about one we need to do? This Aretha Franklin documentary with Jennifer Hudson.
Oh,
have y'all seen that?
I hadn't seen it. I saw a trailer for it, but I haven't watched
That's
it.
on the list, man.
I understand that Janet Jackson is good too.
Wow.
No, I'm not kidding.
Oh, there's a movie about her.
It's a Janet
Yeah,
Jackson
documentary.
documentary on Hulu.
Does she have a wardrobe malfunction on it? Because I watch it.
Yeah, she did it. She produced it.
Oh, the wardrobe malfunction?
He missed my joke.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh,
Dawk.
Wow.
My wife also brought up, it's called, I think, Turning Everything White, or Everything is White. It's on a Showtime. It's like a four-part series. But all right, final.
You know what, brothers? I do. Since we talking about the future, before we get this, hey man, I don't know if I want to do the Bill Cosby.
Okay.
got you pretty upset, man.
Yeah. Tell you what, y'all watch. I only watched the first 2 episodes. I couldn't stomach the third one, and it's a fourth one. And the reason, look, I understand sexual assault. I have a daughter. I have 2 sisters, mothers, aunts, friends. I'm not down with the sexual assault thing. You know, it's traumatizing, and then it probably triggers trauma, like especially for sisters. It probably triggers trauma from my ancestors, right? But I had to check out of that documentary when this lady said her ass on screen. And if let me say this before I even start talking. If I offend any lady by what I'm about to say, I apologize up front, and I'm willing to accept any backlash that I get. But when anytime you sit your ass on a television screen and say somebody orally raped you, I'm just kind of look at you crazy. Orally raped.
Meaning they had them perform oral sex on them.
Yeah. Or she made me think that Bill Cosby shot his joint in her mouth.
Right.
And then it was situations where a bunch of black people were questioning Dr. Cosby's academic acumen. And even my man, Dr. Todd Boyd, the notorious PhD, who I thought was down for the cause, he even downgraded. Well, Bill Cosby got the lowest form of a PhD. Well, damn it, he had to get. He still had to pass the test, write the papers, and everything, and like that.
Yeah.
He still had to have a dissertation. And my man Mark Lamont Hill questioned that Bill Cosby actually did the work. And I'm like, what does this have to do with sexual assault? This is a cyber lynching of a guy.
Yeah.
If he
is very one-sided.
I just
you got the lowest version of a doctor.
PhD.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Like you can only put your PhD in lowercase letters.
Right. And he said, we kind of laughed at him. And it's like, okay, what does this have to do with sexual assault? You know?
Right. Even looking at the trailer, I immediately when I saw him, like, this just seems so one-sided. Like,
it was, man. And you know, that old frog face ass Jamil Hill was on there. I didn't even get to the point where I seen her, because if I could do some Wonder Twin powers, I'll turn into a lady and punch her on her fucking face.
Wow.
I don't like that lady, man. I don't like that lady. So, you know, I'll do it. I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna protest the show if we don't do this. I will watch, I will review, I will give honest, but I would rather watch the HRap got his ass whooped by the Blackstones back in 1986 documentary when I got my ass whooped by the Blackstone Rangers. Got hit in the head with that stick. I would rather watch that and review that than review that. Because it's look, man, if that brother did what they say he did, okay, I understand. He needs to pay the cost. But until I see a Jeffrey Epstein video in which they just drag him through the mud, and I see a Jeffrey Epstein, Kevin Spacey video, and all these dudes, Woody Allen, you adopt a child and then you marry it later, so you ain't start sleeping with her till she was 18, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty right there.
It's not good.
Wow.
No explanation. Thank you for tuning in. He is the host of Weed at Sports Atlanta. It's a podcast on YouTube, so make sure to check them out. It's deep every night. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, Dawk. Final thought.
Final thoughts. Well, my final thoughts. It's just sad, man, that we have to deal with this type of nonsense. You know, the truth is, and black folks, man, our emotions range from anger to helplessness to frustration to sadness and back to anger. You know, righteous indignation is a word that a phrase that I always come back to, right? Righteous indignation, it's an outward display of the internal discord, you know, between physical force and soul force, right? You know, because physically we want to do something, mentally we're thinking something. So there's discord there, right? And righteous indignation should be expressed by all, right? Not just folks who look like me, but by all who have just simply witnessed this parade of injustices that have taken place. And again, if you just witnessed it, and guess what? If I'm saying that, we should all be righteously indignation. If you just simply have witnessed the injustice, that statement is likely to include all, because we've seen it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate this comment. Theodora, one of the best names, next to Benita A. Whitfield, the artist formerly known as. I watched the Fourcast not so much for the movie reviews, but to hear from four very intelligent men chatting about life on life terms, real life conversations. Thank you for keeping it real. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Got that $40 for you. Not my fault.
A paid review. Thank you.
All right, Wilks.
No, my final thoughts. I mean, I as I'm watching this, and I'm just thinking about kind of maybe, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, even here in Dallas, black men that are still that are wrongly accused, just now getting out of prison, and this is going back to late 70s, early 80s, and now they're in their 50s, 60s, in jail for a crime that they didn't commit. It's like this didn't happen 80 years ago, 100 years ago. Like, this is still going on.
Yeah.
Like, a matter of fact, somebody was petitioning one. I can't think of his name, but there was a gentleman. I don't know if he was up in Michigan or somewhere, but they were trying to petition to get him from the lethal injection. They were executing him for something that he did.
No, that was Oklahoma.
Oh, it's Oklahoma. Okay, it was Oklahoma, and for something he didn't do. But of course, unfortunately, it did not save him, and he was executed. But it was just like, man, what does it take? You don't have just evidence, but you still keep these people bound to these so-called, actions, and then you want to murder them. But this movie was really good. I enjoyed it. It opened a lot of things up to me, and just like I said, just those thoughts of how that still was going on here in Dallas probably just 3 years ago. And I remember one gentleman, I think he was 60, 65 and just got out. It was just like, wow, it's crazy.
Think of the guy that Maya Moore helped. And I believe he was in prison.
Wrongfully in prison. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's too many.
Too many to name. Yeah.
It's way too many, and a lot of them look like us.
Right. Being in the black community, I can't speak for Asians and Hispanic. Like, I've never seen this in the Asian community. I've never seen this in the Hispanic. What is it? Is it big business?
Hell yeah, this is big business.
That's all I can think of. It's big business. Jail black men. I don't know.
Let me tell you something, man. I got a couple of guys coming on, but my cousin, God rest his soul, Vincent Williams, got out of penitentiary. He told me in the state of Illinois, you get $40,000 per inmate. And the average income, and this is 2001.
Right.
Wow, that's probably 100
now. Yeah. Oh gosh.
So, that is good.
Yeah, which is why, think about it. They're not fighting to get into a game that's not money. It's the reason why the privatization of correctional institutions is a thing, right? And they trying to get it, as quickly as possible because there's so much money. It's enough money to be made to where they like, not only are we gonna make some money, we're gonna be able to kick you back some too if you put us in this situation. The government ain't losing no money because they privatized you know, the correctional facilities, you know. So that tells you how much money getting made.
And just for the record, the dude, there's a lot of people that drag Michael Jordan's name through the mud and say he invested in privatized prisons. That's a different Michael Jordan. And you know, everybody who know me know I'm not the greatest Michael Jordan fan, but ain't no need to trounce in his name. You know, I wasn't I didn't like his style of basketball. He was an excellent basketball player, but I'm not going to excoriate somebody for something they didn't do. And every time you bring up privatizing prisons, people bring up Michael Jordan as if he was the dude who invented it. And Michael Jeffrey Jordan is not the Michael Jordan that these people are talking about. Yet, mainstream media, you know, the social construct that's put out there, they're curated so people will jump on it. Just like last week when Dave Chappelle was speaking against this big company moving in and not allowing low income housing, and they made Dave look like the heel in this. He shut the project down. They made him look like a heel. But my final thoughts. This took me back to, I listen to Sirius Satellite Radio a lot. One of my favorite people to listen to is this brother named Clay King, and he uses his platform to get brothers out of jail as well. One of the things he did last year was his brother who got locked up in 1976. And his mother said, I'm going to hold on until they let you out. Well, this is a brother who was locked up for rape. And the lady who was being assaulted dug her nails into this man's jacket to the point where her nails had bent back and the leather was caught up under her nails. The brother they locked up had a clean leather jacket on. He got out of the penitentiary last July. Well, he got out of penitentiary last November of 20. And his mother died in July of 20. So how many mothers and fathers, and brothers, sisters, and children are waiting on their father for nothing? So that's what this movie reminded me of.
And I think also, just to add on to that real quick, so Johnny D, the real Johnny D, when he got out, he was traumatized. He had basically
PTSD
from being in prison, which that is the after effect of treating someone like that did not commit the crime. And he ended up having dementia, and he ended up passing away, largely because of what he was treated like. So there is the side of, hey, we got this person out, but when they get out, they're scarred. You can't. Not everybody's going to be able to come out and just live their life, and I'm gonna forget that happened. So that's the other side of it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. My homeboy Dana, man, God bless him, man. Because I said I was gonna say his name. But my homeboy, he got out and he's living a normal life. And if I introduce you to him, you wouldn't think he just did that. And I remember him telling me, he said, man, for the first 7 years, I was angry every day, and I questioned myself.
Wow.
Oh yeah. No, you start believing it.
Wow.
So yeah, man. And he's a good brother, man. I mean, he was a good brother before they locked him up. And when I saw him the day of the arrest, we crossing paths at the movie theater. And the funny thing was, I interviewed him. You know, he didn't know I was the supervisor. I didn't know he was the interviewer. And this dude named Alan Jacobson, he had a bunch of applications on the desk, and I saw the name. I said, I'm gonna interview him. Oh, you don't even like the interview. I said, I'm gonna interview him though. And I came in, I had my back turned to him, and I said something that only him and I would know. And then I turned around. He was like, whoa. I said, hey, man, we sit down. We're going to chop this up. And I hired him. And he's been doing great. He quit that job and then went on to something great. He has a daughter who was born on his birthday 3 years ago. Wow. So he's living a good life, but it's just.
Yeah.
Being black in the wrong place don't count.
Yeah.
Mike's.
Stars. What is that?
All right. Wilks.
I have to give it a 4.3.
4.3.
I give it a 4.3. I gotta be different.
All right. Explain anything. Any particular reasons why?
I don't know. I guess I would just like to know more about the. I guess I could have done it after the movie. I guess I just wanted to know more about Jamie Foxx's character. I feel like they didn't really go a lot into that in the movie, but I guess it was. But it's more about the lawyer anyway. So I guess so. That may be my fault. So, but yeah, no. I mean, I'd like to read more about the course of. I don't know how much they would have on. He's passed away, but I don't know how much information they would have had on him. But I'm just kind of curious more about the Johnny D character.
Yeah. All right, HRap.
I mean, I'm just gonna give it a straight 4. Well, actually 4.28. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I mean, very good movie, very good acting, very good storyline, telling the honest, unabashed truth. So, and it told the ugly truth, which most times they try to soften it up in Hollywood and make some white dude be the Avenger, but they did. But in this case, it was actually true. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That part I did not know if he actually in court kind of turned it over. Basically, all right. Dawk.
I'm at 4 bikes. Again, trying to be selective with my 5 mic ratings and things of that nature. So again, there's some aspects of it, like Wilks mentioned, that left a little bit to be desired. But again, reminder, 4 is not a bad rating from us at all. It is a very solid rating, and I think that's what it deserved. It got a 4, and I think it's super solid. And if you hadn't seen it, you got to go check it out. Go check it out. Jamie Foxx, super, super talented. MichaelBJordan shows, again, range that is different from Creed and other action type movies that they've been in. Again, think about MichaelBJordan from Just Mercy, and think about MichaelBJordan from what's the Black Panther, right? Just think about this, just the polar opposites those characters are.
So he wouldn't have trying to hear shit.
Yeah.
So
really. I think that shows a range, man, and an intelligence. That's another thing we don't give them credit for. These brothers, man, who got all this talent and stuff like that, man, talent without intelligence, emotional intelligence, you say what?
Talent without intelligence is Kanye.
Wow. Anyway, but like I said, man, so again, it's worth it. MichaelBJordan, Jamie Foxx, Terrell, Texas's own Jamie Foxx, who is, brother can sing, brother can act, man. It's funny, that dude, man.
Oscar winner.
Yeah, thumbs up, man.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Not necessarily a 5, but I think it was well done, and it told the complete story, and it didn't sugarcoat it, and it I think showed some things that we already know, but it shed light on people that we did not know that were on death row, and gave light to Herb. I mean, the guy's gone. They didn't have to do that, but they shed light on his life and what he was going through.
I give light on Herb every evening after the show. Let me give you some light, Herb.
I guess it wasn't really worth mentioning, but even I guess at that moment, at the execution, that cop, he seemed like he had a little remorse or just kind of confusion of what was happening there. So I kind of noticed that.
I was thinking that was his first time seeing the execution, because he just looked.
Yeah,
I got a question for you guys. I thought about this as I was watching that movie. If you hit the switch on an electric chair or lethal injection 10 times, don't that make you a serial killer?
Wow.
I would think so.
Wow. Do you even have to get up to 10?
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah, I got you.
It's a really good question. I was saying.
Well, and it also depends on the kind of cereal. I'm a Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy, so
I like life.
I'm killing them cereal,
I like life cereal. My favorite.
Have a good night. I'm leaving.
I got 2 boxes.
Darkness.
I had to leave because Doc's over here with his cereal.
All right, so coming up next week is the 1 year anniversary of the Fourcast. So on this particular show, we won't be reviewing one movie, but we will be recapping the year. Also, make sure you follow BSU Network on all of the social media. This week, I'll be posting and giving you an opportunity to vote on 4. Obviously, it's the Fourcast, so we all nominated a movie, and we'll do it like we do like the Oscars. So best film, best supporting actress, best actress, best actor. So we'll be posting that. We'll be looking for your votes. And next week, we will talk about that. Like I said, recap, tell the story, how this whole thing all came together. And so definitely looking forward to that. What's coming up tomorrow on Queen Theory and King?
Mental health and Black history. That's going to be our topic. It's going to kind of be broken up into halves. So, initially we'll talk about mental health as it specifically relates to Black males. As it relates to us specifically, we're going to cover some some mental health issues, some stemming from the big boys don't cry that we're told from the moment we could even walk, or when we're learning how to walk, where they ingraining that into our heads. Big boys don't cry, big boys don't cry, and what impacts that's had on our mentality as adults, whether it be in raising our families, dating, working, whatever the case may be, dealing with medical issues, and then, like I said, we'll also cover some Black history kind of figures and stuff like that as well.
Awesome. What's coming up tomorrow on End of the Bench?
The criminal justice system being put on trial, in my opinion, from police to judges to police, judges, and prison. And then I'm going to talk about what else I'm going to talk about? Like the reimagining of the country, Loretta Lynch, Sidney Carter. Talk about how our sisters are, basically they attack sisters. But I'm gonna defend Kamala Harris. I'm gonna defend, the coach down there at Texas A&M. She wore this sexy outfit. And they excoriated her, and it was ridiculous, man. And this is
point. If she can coach, let her coach. It don't matter what she's wearing.
Right. Beans and some heels and
right. She had on some pink pants, and everybody lost their damn minds. And I was never really a supporter of Kamala Harris, but I'm just trying to understand what is Kamala Harris doing a conversation? Nobody, you can't tell me one thing. Mike Pence, Al Gore, or what's the dude name? They called him Darth Vader. He was Darth favorite.
Cheney,
Dick Cheney, or any of these dudes. Joe Biden. You can't tell me what they did, but they holding his sister feet to the fire, asking what she doing about immigration and stuff like that. It's like, stop it. You got, and another great thing is 13 Black women running for governor throughout the United States of America. So these are things that we need to talk about, things that we need to know about, so we can get involved and get into it and protect these sisters at all costs. Point blank, period. End of story.
Definitely. All right. Well, another edition of the Fourcast. We will be back next week. HRap.
I won't be frozen.
So.
Well, y'all already know how I end every show. Saluting Craig Smith from Combat Jack, aka Reggie O'Shea, by saying, dream those dreams and man up a woman up and live those dreams. Because life without dreams flows in black and white, and life with dreams flows in technicolor surround sound. And if I owe you something, you already know I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
Peace.